Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day wherever they are. Like I said, I'm not responsible if I get hurt, and sometimes I swear. Sorry I haven't made a video. I've been busy with my life. I'm making one. This one's on Meghan Markle's being married. She was born August 8th, 1981. They say she's 44. She was born in Los Angeles, and they said she had two spouses. So I'm gonna look into about her. I'm just curious if she was married just twice. I'm gonna look up that if she was married more than twice, and if she ever had any children. Excuse me. Or I looked it up and said that she had surrogate children with Harry, but I'm gonna see if she had children before Harry. I'm just curious about that, so I'm gonna look up. All right. So I'm gonna look up. Was Meghan married? Was she married more than twice? I'm gonna look that up. Was she married more than twice? Please tell me. Was Meghan Markle married more than twice? I'll see. Yep. In the past. This is the past. I'll do 4 cards in the past. And I'm gonna do this. All right, we'll see. Let's see what this has to say. She had lack of direction. She didn't know what way to go if she was getting married the first or second, third. She didn't know. She had conflicts in the relationships when she was with other men. She had conflicts. She fought with people in relationships, in her prior relationships with other men, and fighting with them, and probably their family. So she fought with people. She had limited beliefs. She had new ideas of, they weren't happy with her, the family. So. And also, they wanted her to come clean about how many marriages she had, because she was hiding from it. And she was deception. Yeah, she had a lot of deception in her marriages. She said she was only married twice. So she's a very deceptive person. She doesn't tell the truth. She was scared, the royal family wouldn't want her in the royal family if they found out she was married more than once. Twice. So there was deception. So she had deception, and she had to rethink of it, like, I'm not going to tell people I've been married more than twice or 3 times, because she would think that people wouldn't respect her if she had multiple marriages, like Jennifer Lopez like Jennifer Lopez or Elizabeth Taylor, that people wouldn't respect her. There was disharmony in the relationship she's had in the prior marriages. They would have disagreements. They would fight. She would want things her way, and if she didn't get it, she would pout. She'd get upset. So, yeah, she didn't have good relationships with her last marriages. In her last relationships with men, she'd be very narcissistic, saying, you got to do things my way, or I'll throw a fit, or something like that. And she likes to work alone, like she wants to be the center of the attention. She doesn't like to do teamwork. She wants to work things alone. She doesn't want to be the one who, she doesn't want to help out. She wants to be alone and not help out. And there was a group conflict, working with the in-laws or the family. She had group conflicts with family members. She'd have conflicts, like she had conflicts with William and Kate, and also the royal family, or also with her last husband, Troy, and the other men she's had with their families. There were conflicts. They didn't like her, the way she ended up being, showing her true colors. So she had conflicts in her last relationships and marriages. Personal plans. She was fearful of the unknown, like she was fearful that people would find out the truth, how many times she's been married. She was afraid that people would find out, and she didn't want that. Like I said, lack of planning. She didn't plan ahead. She had lack of planning. She didn't planned very well on how many marriages she was going to go through, and fear of change. She's fearful of change because she wasn't sure, because she went from one marriage to another, and she was fearful of that. She didn't want people to know that she's been married multiple times. And she had personal goals. Her goals were not to get into a marriage for love, and for love, like they say, love, honor, and cherish. She doesn't really care for that. She's only in it to get something out of it. She's not in it for love, or like I said. Now you're an independent and free. She likes to be independent and free. She doesn't like to be. She likes the idea of being married, but staying in marriage. She's not in it for the long haul. She likes to be free and flirt with people, flirt with guys, and not stay. So it doesn't say that multiple, like she had more than 3, but it says that she has to come clean something. So she's hiding something. It says something clean. She needs to come clean. So I'm going to look it up, because she's hiding more than being married twice. It says she needs to come clean on that, because she's not coming clean, and people don't like her in her other family, and she has to rethink her approach, because the way she comes across is not a friendly, nice person. People don't like her. So I'm going to ask again. Was she? Oh, card fell. I'm going to take that. That came out. This is the Hermit in reverse. That is loneliness and withdrawn. She was lonely and withdrawn after her marriage ended. Her first marriages ended. So I'm going to ask. Please tell me, was she married more than twice? And if it answers, great. If it doesn't, what can I do? I go by the cards. And entertainment purposes only. This is always entertainment purposes. Was she married more than twice? Meghan Markle, please tell me. Hold on. Please tell me. Was she married more than twice? All right. Oops. It says she had disappointment in her marriages. When she was married to the last guy she was married, Troy, she had disappointments in the last marriages. Because she withdraw, and she abandonment of Troy and the other guys she dated. When she broke up with Troy, she just sent a ring so that she was disappointed in her marriage. She thought she was going to get something out of her marriage to Troy, but she didn't want it. She was disappointment, and she abandoned him. She threw her ring in the mail and sent it back, which is kind of crappy in my opinion. And she withdrew from him, and she escaped. She left Troy and left the other relationships. She left and said, I don't care about your feelings. She just abandoned these people and just left. And she left them behind, like, adios. So she didn't really care about these people. She just used them. All right, living in the past, forgiveness. She's going to try to forgive herself. She's forgiven herself for her past marriages and relationships. She's doing that. And she left home, she probably went to college, and she left home, and then she met these guys and lived with them and got married, and then left them and moved on. And she likes her independence. She doesn't like a guy being the one who wears the pants in the family. She wants to be the one who wears the pants in the relationship. So she doesn't have any joy in these relationships. She's very negative in the relationship. It says she's into materialistic stuff, like she's into into stuff like clothes, jewelry, travel. She's into the finer things in life. She doesn't really care about people. She cares more of status and how people are. So that's what it is. She's only interested in marrying people who are high, because they said yeah, so she married people for a higher status. You know, if someone's a lawyer or a cook or fellow actor, she's only interested in that. You will not be feared to stop you at any time. She's not fearful of being stopped anytime soon, of being married to Harry. She's not going to stop. She's not going to, she's going to hold on to Harry for dear life. She's not going to, get rid of him because he has a golden goose right now with the golden egg. So she's not gonna leave him anytime soon. All right, so it doesn't say that if she was married more than twice, but it said she doesn't stay married very long. She's only in it for, the money and the entertainment and what the person can give, the men can give her. I'm gonna ask, did she ever have children with any of the men she was married or engaged or whatever? Did she ever have any kids out of wedlock or any kids prior to a little bit? I looked it up, and those ones were surrogates. I'm gonna look that up. Was Meghan ever had children other than the others? A little bit, and all those Archie and everything. Did she have children when she was in her 20s or 30s? I'm going to do 5 cards. Did she have any children? Yeah, she had other children. Spire, she had ideas and discovered, she found out she was pregnant, and she had ideas of that she was not happy finding out that she was pregnant, and she had ideas, maybe she was going to, I hate to say the word abortion, but she was thinking of that, or she would give him up for adoption. She had ideas like, oh, I don't know if I want to stay, raising children. I might give them up for adoption. And she did. She had limited potential. Like, what can I do? What the potential of what I can do. Should I have the kid or not, or give it up for adoption? So she did that, and she was a free spirit. Like, she didn't want anybody to stop her from having children, doing what she wanted. So she didn't want to have these kids, and she just wanted, to find a rich person and marry her. She did have children. Also, she was trying to. She wanted seek the truth, seek the truth, and she had to see the truth that she had these children. But she also liked to be alone. She a very independent person. She wanted to be alone. She didn't want to have to raise these kids. She didn't want the responsibility of having the kids. She wanted to give them up, and she was a very independent person. She didn't want to have kids. She didn't want to raise them at the time. She just said, no way, I don't want them. She didn't want, and she wants teamwork. She had teamwork. She had someone help her have she had the children, and then she had someone take care of the kids, and then she put them up for adoption, and she learned, by getting money from them and building some. She was building something like, maybe she was, giving them up for adoption, and she would get money from them. Oh, brother. Trying one more time. She tried one more time to have children with Harry and her other relationships. And it was drifting and fear of change. It was fear of change that she was fearful that she might not be able to have children after she had the ones that she had with her other person she was with. And she was fear of loss, like she couldn't have more children. Like, she had the kids, and then she decided she didn't want the kids and she couldn't do it anymore. Planning. She planned to have kids with Harry. She wanted the golden goose with the golden egg, and she wanted the plan. She had the plan of marrying Harry, and throwing the other men off the side and find him and marry him and have children. So yeah. And she had travel plans to go over England and meeting him and marrying him, and then travel back to the United States. So yeah, I'm going to ask a question. A lot of people, did she ever have to get rid of children? Did she ever, the A word, to have children, so she wouldn't have children. Did she ever get operated so she couldn't have children? Once she was old enough, it said she had children, and gave them away. Did she ever have an operation so she couldn't have children anymore? Or something like that. Is that why she couldn't have any more children? Because she had an operation so she couldn't have any more children? Got her tubes tied or whatever. Did she get her tubes tied, Meghan Markle, so she couldn't have any more children? Entertainment purposes only. Did she have an operation so she can't have any more children, Meghan Markle? Did she have an operation for she couldn't have more children? Five. Did she have an operation so she couldn't have any more children? Yeah, she didn't want any more kittens. It was bad luck. Maybe the doctor said maybe it's not safe if you have more children, or it's not you're not the healthiest woman. She said she's 44. Who knows if that's the truth? I'll look that up. Yeah, she had no control over it. Maybe the doctor says it's not safe for you to have children, and she had no control over that, so she couldn't do it. And she resistant to change. She said, "Oh, I think she did get her tubes tied, and there was no control and breaking the cycle. She can't have children. So she would have to break. She couldn't have children. Yeah. So yeah." And she tried to be positive. Maybe she could adopt, or she could have someone take her. Maybe she would have a donator, someone donate. And Harry could do that. Have kids with someone else. And she tried to have fun with Harry, and hang out with him, and thought of, having children and taking care of them. And she tried to be nice and warm and kind to Harry before telling her. And she tried to be compassionate, the thought of having children. She said, "Oh yeah, we can have children. I'll be compassionate, I'll be kind." She said she's very comfortable being a mother and joyful and a healing person, but this is the devil. She's addicted, She's addicted of being selfish. She's addicted of destructive behavior. She wants things now. She throws fits. She gets angry if things don't go away. She threatens Harry. She threatens her family. She threatens staff. Things don't go away. She is a very bully, narcissistic person, like sociopath person. So yeah, she is a very bullying person. This is a devil. She likes things her way or the highway, and she's a very malicious person, which she wants things her way or the highway, and she's not willing to compromise. She's very narcissistic, sociopath, and also surrendering, letting go. She's trying to let go that she couldn't have children after she had kids. Maybe she had complications, so she had to let go of that, and she would have to change ideas of having a surrogate and or adoption. So she did that. So she was not a very nice person. She's a very destructive, mean person. All right. So all right, I'm gonna ask about her relationship with her father. Is her father ever gonna tell on her? Whoops. Hold on. Oh, sorry, I dropped something. Card. Sorry about that. Is Meghan's father ever gonna spill the beans about what her life has been like before Harry was married? Is he ever gonna tell on Meghan, her father? And then I'll ask her half siblings. Is Meghan's father ever gonna tell the truth? Write a book about her being a narcissistic. Is he going to do that? I'll do 4 cards. Is Meghan's father ever going to tell the truth and speak up? It says he has a painful ending because he doesn't have a good relationship with. It says no, he's not going to say anything. He feels betrayed and lost and failure. He feels a failure father. She never calls him, never texts him, never lets the grandchildren see him if there is any. So he feels defeated. He feels upset. That she hasn't talked to him. And she feels defeated too. Mainly him. He feels pissed off. She is not in. Yeah. He doesn't feel any joy in the relationship. Uh, he's trying to be happy that she has Harry in this life that she wanted. So he's happy that she got a life, but he wanted to be part of it. But yeah, he thinks she is in her happiness, but he thinks she's gonna resist change if he comes out and tells people what the truth is. So, and personal transformation. He might transformation the relationship. Maybe he'll try to again before he get old and dies. He's gonna try to speak to her and say, "I don't like the way you've been treating me," and he's trying to hold on to the relationship, lack of relationship. He's gonna try to hold on and try to have a relationship. Nurturing. He tried to be a nurturing parent with her. He tried to be a good parent with her, giving her the funnest things that she could, This is a nurturing card. And he tried to work with patience with her. Okay, so I don't think he's going to say anything unless something drastically happens. Now I'm going to say, is her siblings going to finally tell on Meghan Markle? Are they going to say, enough is enough, Meghan, you screwed us over, you're mean, you're nasty, entertainment purposes? Is her siblings ever going to speak up and say what she really is and say, we've had enough with you bullying everybody? Are they going to say something? The father, I doubt it, because it says no, but unless something majorly happens, he won't say nothing. There's a struggle in the relationship with Meghan and her siblings, and they're overwhelmed on the edge. Defiance. They feel fatigued and tired of all the drama that she does with people and her siblings. They're tired of her being such a narcissistic person, like with the drama of writing the book and speaking out against the royal family and them. He's tired of the drama. They're tired. Her siblings are tired of over the drama and how she's overreacts to things. And they want her to be more giving and kind to them and not be less selfish and give them money and charity and sharing. Her siblings want her to be more caring and loving and kind. They say she's overly emotional. She throws a fit. She cries. She's easy influenced. She's cruel. She's a cold-hearted person. They think she's a cold-hearted person. Meghan siblings think she's a cold-hearted person who doesn't care about them. Also, personal fear of change. They're a fear of change because they know she will not change. They're fearful change because they don't know how she would react if they told everybody. They would be kind of scared that they might have something that she might tell on them, but they might have something on her, and the vice versa. Delay disaster. There might be delay disaster. They might say something. They might finally say something because they're delayed disasters. This is the tower in reverse. So they might say something. They might get sick and tired of her, trying to be the political correct person who's a narcissistic. They're tired of her the way she is, and they're gonna finally say enough is enough, and we're gonna stand up to you. The rest, and there's a stormy time ahead. Who knows what's going to happen. So they're tired of this. There's going to be a mystery dreams. They're fearful, like I said, because they don't know how she'd react if they came out and said something about how she treats them and her father. You know, they're tired of this. They're fearful because they're afraid that she might say something against them and bring it up in, you know, the public. So they're fearful. And there's an anxiety. She's anxiety because she's worried that they will say something about her too. You know. So I'm going to ask four more cards. Are they actually going to really say something? They say that she's fearful of them. I'm going to do four cards. Are they? Are they? She afraid of them speaking up against Meghan? Is Meghan afraid that her siblings are going to say something about her past and it's going to come out? I'll do four cards. Is she afraid? She loves her. She loves herself. She's conceited. She cares only about herself. She's worried that they're going to break up her marriage, her relationship with Harry. She's worried that, you know, if things come up true, that she'd be scared that her relationship with Harry and the way she lives would end. And she's also worried that there would be tension in the relationship with Harry if they told the truth about her, the relationship with Harry or anybody. She has tension. She's worried about the truth coming out and this tension, like he'd find out and be really pissed about what she's kept against him. And there will be broken communication. He'll say, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I want to talk to a lawyer. So they might emotional balance. She wants to eventually tell him, and she thinks she should be the one in control of telling Harry if the truth comes out, you know. And changes are going to come. They might say something to her, to Harry or the public, saying we're tired of her being such a bully. And they want to, yeah, they also want to be the one in control, not having her be in control. And they're going to be very defensive of the way she's been treating them, the brother and sister. So they're going to speak up against her. So they are going to, in the future, they're going to say, they said enough is enough. Fruit of the labor. I think if they're going to be quiet, they're going to have a payout from her. She's going to say, they're going to say, you have to give us money to be quiet, or they might have someone say, oh, they might write a book about Meghan Markle and how she grew up and how she really what really went on. So they might make money off that. So, and they want independence. They want finances from finding out. Maybe they'll write a book on her, or if not, they would say, Meghan, you have to pay us off. I think it's most likely they would write a book and have someone finance them. So yeah, they're eventually gonna say something, because I don't like the way the father's being treated. They were been treated, you know, and she's lied stuff. You know, she's had children. She was married more than twice, I think. Yeah. And I'll ask one more question. Is there anything else we need to know about Meghan Markle? 3 cards, please. Is there anything else I need to know about Meghan Markle? Please. 3 cards, please. Oh, dark side of wrath. She has a dark side of her. Can be nasty. She can be cruel. Financial. Oh, she's going to lose a lot of money because people don't want to listen to her and talk to her. They're so tired of her crap. They're tired of her bull crap. So they're tired of her. So lack of resources. She's going to lose a lot of money. Meghan Markle is going to lose a lot of money. Opportunities. She's going to try to get opportunities, you know, to write a book herself. Rethink choices. Maybe she'll think of other choices. Maybe leave Harry and find other people to date, other people to marry. So she might have another choice of leaving him. And she wants self-respect. She wants people to respect her. And she has self-respect for herself. And she's a jealous and selfish person. She only cares about me, me, me. You know, that's what it says. She's very selfish and only cares about herself, So she's insecure sometimes, even though she doesn't act like it. But a lot of narcissistic people are immature, insecure because they only think about themselves. So, yep, yeah, and she respects herself. So that's all I'm going to say right now for Meghan Markle. Maybe in the future I'll make a video on her and Harry if their marriage is getting closer to end. I'll make a video on that. And other people will make a video. Until my next video on tarot reading or other subjects like knitting or other subjects, have a good day wherever you are, and bye.